Hey everyone, I'm Neil Patel, and today I'm going to be discussing what kind of companies you should invest in. Now, what I look for, and everyone's different, but what I found to work really well is, number one, I look for companies with big TAMs. A TAM is total addressable market. If you're investing in a company that's in a space that's hundreds of billions of dollars, the company is much more likely to gobble up 1% of that market than if you invested in a small company that only was in a $1 million market. Sure, they can gobble up 50% of it, but the company's not going to be worth much. You want to go after big markets because it's easier to gobble up 1% or 0.5% of a market than it is to gobble up 50 or 70% of a very tiny market. And when you go after a big market, typically people are willing to pay more money to buy up those companies, and because there's more growth potential, Wall Street values those companies at a much higher valuation compared to the businesses that have a very small market cap or market potential. The second thing that I look for is companies with revenue. There's no reason these days that a company shouldn't have revenue. Because it's so easy to get started, anyone should have revenue, whether it's $5,000, $10,000, $100,000 a month, or $1 million, whatever the number is. Some revenue shows that someone believes in that product. Without that revenue, you're making wild bets. You could make a lot, but you can also lose a lot. Investing in companies that already have revenue hedges your bet. The third thing you should look for is businesses that you understand. If you understand the business, you can give them more feedback, versus if you don't know what you're getting into, that's where I found that I tend to lose most of my money. Hence, I typically stick with deals that I understand. If you understand the sector, you don't have to be an industry expert, but if you understand it, you're going to be much better off. Now, if someone else is giving you advice, and typically with most angel deals, you invest with other people. If the other people that you know and you trust understand that sector, that's fine as well. But you just don't want to get into some random thing, because that's when people can cheat you, take your money, and really trick you, and that's where it can get really sketchy, and I would avoid that. The fourth thing I'll look for is businesses that solve a problem. Businesses don't make money because they want to make money. They make money because they're solving a problem. So if someone's solving a problem and their solution is easier to use or faster and results oriented or cheaper, then that's great. If they're not solving a problem and they're just there to make money, business isn't going to do well. The fifth thing I look for is companies that are scalable. I want efficient companies. Efficient companies tend to have better margins. I don't want to invest in a company for every dollar that they make in revenue, they have to start adding in more headcount. Companies that scale are much better off, and they can grow much faster. When a company is relying on headcount, it takes them much longer and it's much harder for them to grow. That's also a reason why I love companies like that are SaaS related or subscription related, because they tend to scale better than companies that are consulting related, for example. And those are the main things I look for when investing in companies. There's other factors as well, such as things like the entrepreneur, but we'll get into that in later videos. A recent law means that you can now be the first person to invest in the next billion-dollar company. And I've set out to teach you how you can do just that. Why me? I've been doing this for over a decade, and I've made plenty of mistakes. I want you to learn from them and recognize that you now have access to the opportunities where 95% of tech investment income is made. Click the link below to sign up for a free online event where a special guest and I will explain everything for you.